Namaskaram. What if I told you that porn didn't just ruin lives, it created monsters? This isn't a fairy tale, this is a real story. Children were hurt, innocence destroyed, and one man filmed it, and millions of people have watched it. It all started with the screen, just like the one you're looking at right now. So let me share a real life story that shows how pornography has driven people to become rapists and some of the worst versions of themselves. Let's start.
Rape is not a sexual act. It is an act of violence, an act of domination, a manifestation of a sick mind.
Peter Scully, the beginning. Man with a troubled past, Scully was born in Melbourne, Australia in 1963. He seemed like an ordinary man. He had a family and ran a real estate business and even lived in upscale suburbs. But underneath that surface lay greed, deception, and eventually the unimaginable cruelty. In the early 2000s, Scully began committing fraud and was charged with multiple financial crimes in Australia. To avoid arrest, he fled the country in 2011 and escaped to Philippines, a country he believed would be easier to exploit due to poverty and weak law enforcement. And he was very much addicted to porn, but he got bored with regular porns. He wanted to do something which is much more bigger than regular porns. But what he did next would horrify the world. The transition from fraud to evil, horrible. Scully shifted from scamming adults to targeting vulnerable children with the help of local accomplices, including women who helped lure and groom victims. He set up a dark business in the city and on the island of Mindanao. There he created a base of operations for a child abuse and torture ring and child rapes, fueled by the worst corners of the dark web. The dark web and no limits fun, Scully's name became notorious after the discovery of a video called Daisy's Destruction. This wasn't an ordinary video. It was a pay-per-view film on the dark web where people paid thousands of dollars in Bitcoin to watch young girls, some as young as 18 months old, be brutally abused, tortured, and even killed on camera. In this video and others, children were tied, beaten, raped, and subjected to unthinkable acts. The worst part? Scully recorded it all, and knowing he had an audience, he ran this operation under a sickening brand called No Limits Fun. The name said it all. He promised viewers there would be no limits to what they would see. Many viewers were other predators and pedophiles from around the world. His accomplices, women turned recruiters. Shockingly, Scully didn't act alone. He convinced young Filipino women, often victims themselves, to help recruit other children under the pretense of offering food, shelter, or education. Once inside his home, the children would be held captive, starved, and abused for weeks or months. He filmed everything. He uploaded it, and people paid him. Some of the girls died from the injuries. Others were buried in the shallow graves in the backyard of his rented homes. Local authorities would later discover these remains, including a girl believed to be only 11 years old.
We are living in a society where porn is shaping young minds. Peter Scully is not an isolated case. He is product of a broken culture that normalizes the objectification of women, that feeds young boys degrading violent content before they even understand love or consent. If we stay silent, we become part of the problem. But together, if we fight this, we can protect our children and we can restore dignity in the society. Do you think, isn't it possible that we all come together? Can we not raise a generation that sees women as people, not objects, that values love, not lust? Many people believe porn is normal and harmless, but that's far from the truth. It can deeply affect how people view sex, relationships, and even human worth. While cases like Peter Scully may seem extreme, but they are part of a wider pattern of how porn can distort the mind. The impacts are serious and far reaching, influencing behavior, desensitizing empathy, and feeding darker urges over time.
I am ready to dedicate my life to this cause. If your blood boils at the thought of a girl not being safe on her own street, if your heart aches when a survivor is blamed instead of believed, if your conscience screams when justice is denied, then join me. Let's start.